Hi guys, and welcome back to Damien Richardson for the Senate. It's important to keep our cash because it gives us personal autonomy. It gives us personal autonomy away from the prying hand of government, the overbearing hand of government. And if you did only have a digital currency, as we've seen in China already have developed a social credit score. So at what point does the government have access to turn your money off? We say no to a social credit score, and the best way to do that, of course, is to keep a physical currency. There's so much talk about Australia and other nations moving to a digital currency. I know that the Reserve Bank of Australia is actually trialling a digital currency at this particular point in time. And I've seen Malcolm Roberts grilling the Reserve Bank apparatchiks, would you be as bold to say that, of the Reserve Bank. They talk anyway about the efficiency of the digital currency. It will just give us these wonderful efficiency gains, but what will it take from us in the process, you know? And I think a lot of people are concerned about losing their cash, losing a physical currency. And as I pointed out in an earlier video I did when I first released the policy, it's not something that will actually happen because people will always trade and barter. If we don't have a physical currency, there'll be one which will appear straight away on the black market. There'll always be a physical currency. The government might implement a social credit score, and as already exists in communist China, of course, and it's a difficulty for Australia as a middle power, if even as much as a middle power, to stand up for itself and to stand its own ground if the rest of the world and the power base in the world is moving somewhere different. That's the political reality. So if China becomes preeminent, how would we stand up to them? It's a serious question, and a really important thing for us, I think, is to maintain our physical currency and maintain our autonomy as who we are, and having access to cash underpins all of that. And it just means those things too, like if you want to have a piggy bank, or you know, a busker wants to earn some money, or maybe you're going to do a cash job. I mean, let's be realistic. Government wants to tax everything, but we all know that people do cash jobs at times and they enjoy getting a bit of cash. Do we really want to stamp all of that out, you know, in the interests of making sure that every cent is given to government? Because if we're going to do that for the small people, well, what about the big organisations like, you know, Facebook or Pfizer or Google, etc.? The list goes on and on and on. Are they going to be paying every single cent in the dollar that they owe to the government? All it will do is just undermine the small operatives, and particularly older people. A lot of older people don't even operate on the internet. They still don't engage with it, and the reality is it doesn't make them any less human, or actually not intelligent and articulate people that want to make decisions for themselves. And the decisions they make for themselves so often are based around cash. And I know a lot of people that still choose to pay in cash, and I think that should be enshrined. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, don't be ridiculous, as if they would ever take our cash away from us. Well, I would have never thought they would lock us down for 2 years either, but they did try to stop, and there was a Liberal government that actually tried to stop us from spending any more than $10,000. It was illegal to pay for anything more in cash than $10,000. And you might think, oh wow, that's a lot of money, but it's your money. It's your money. You choose to pay how you choose to pay. And the only reason it was stopped is because there was a senator called Malcolm Roberts, who's still there now, from One Nation in Queensland, who stood up and pointed out what the Conservative government was trying to do. There was such a backlash that the Liberal Party backed down from enacting that change. So that's our first policy: keep our cash. Spoken by D. Richardson, authorised by D. Richardson, Melbourne.